Cold outreach just changed forever. Just a few years ago, businesses could essentially just find a lead list somewhere, message them, and they'd be landing clients. But nowadays, things have really changed. A bunch of emails now are being thrown into spam, things are getting flagged, deliverability issues are through the roof, and calls are just straight up getting ignored. However, there are still hundreds of business owners that are still making a ton of money because they know the new way of doing cold outreach. And so in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what's changed and how you can take advantage of the new outreach to book hundreds of sales calls every single month for your business. A couple years ago, businesses had a tried and true method of getting sales directly from cold outreach. Essentially, back in the day, businesses would have purchased just phone number database. Even before the internet, those were a thing. When you can just straight up buy a bunch of contact numbers and people would ring them up without doing any prior research, and those would work really well, honestly. And then also for emails, it was pretty much the same thing. It was just instead of calling people up, it would just be sending cold emails, super templatized without any real personalization, without any real value proposition, but just because there was no one else doing it, right? So it was working really well. But simply those methods just don't work as well as they used to. And this is mainly because of three issues. So number one is that people are just way more selective of the messages that they actually reply to. I don't know about you, but nowadays on my phone, I just have silence unknown callers. And so essentially no one can cold call me unless I have them saved as a contact. Pretty much the same thing with cold email. A bunch of people have EAs, their assistants are in their inbox, and actual people you want to reach out to aren't even reading your emails because there's someone actually guarding their time from your emails. Also, because these methods have become so mainstream, Google, Outlook, and other providers have become just super sensitive to these, and spam filters are just way stricter, and sending capacity has just gone way down. Also, it's honestly just harder to see results if you don't actually know what you're doing. There's obviously professionals that are doing it at a very high level that know exactly what they're doing, but if you're not one of those guys, it's going to be really hard to stand out in a sea of emails because there's just so many people doing cold outbound and no one really knows how to do it well. However, this doesn't mean that cold outreach is dead because that simply couldn't be farther away from the truth. And that's why smart business owners have been looking at other ways to kind of diversify the way in which they get clients. And yes, that means there is a better way to do outreach. And so I'm going to walk you through exactly what that is. All right, so let's go back to one of the major problems that we used to have. People are now super selective, and people put their guard up whenever they receive an email from someone they don't know or a cold call from someone they don't know. They're just used to that automated feeling, and people feel like they're being sold to, and they feel as though they're just another lead with nothing really standing out to them from whatever message you're sending them. And that's even if they get there. But probably if you're not sending good emails, if you're not doing good outreach, your messages are being caught by the spam filters, if not by someone's EA, making you look like a spammy bot, making you not stand out in a sea of templated emails. And honestly, all these problems just boil down to one simple thing, which is bad personalization. And so if you do good personalization, people will actually be excited and compliment you on your outreach just because of the simple fact that no one else is doing it. So if you're able to stand out and personalize your messages in a better way than everyone else on the market, then you are obviously going to stand out and you're going to get great results. Which brings us to the best platform to do outreach on, which is Twitter DMs. And even more specifically, Twitter DMs have just outperformed every other social platform there is. It beats LinkedIn, it beats Facebook, it beats Instagram, it beats everything. And so with Twitter, it's honestly super easy to whip up a couple accounts, and if you go to the Twitter terms of service, you can literally send up to 500 messages per day per account. So just think of the sheer volume. Plus, the only people in the DMs are people that are verified. So you can forget everyone that's just spamming people. All those spammers don't even play the Twitter game because they don't want to spend the extra $8 per account to be able to send messages. And so your messages are landing in people's inbox and people are actually reading them. Plus, you get the added benefit of instant credibility. What does this mean? Whenever you reach out to someone, the first thing they're going to be able to look at is your profile. If your profile is set up correctly, you will convey instant credibility and you're able to send tons of messages. And something Alex Hormozi always says when it comes to outreach is that the best combination, whether it be Twitter or any other social platform, is max volume and max personalization. So if you're able to do those two, you're pretty much golden. And so I'm going to show you exactly how we're able to do that with Twitter. These are kind of the personalizations that you want to add into your scripts, typically within the first couple lines. And here's the second part of the document. And the last 9, those are essentially what we think are the best. And so do with that what you will. Now, you can spend all day doing this and that's completely fine. Or there's a couple ways to do it. Number one, you can leverage other people. So you can just hire people to do this for you. Or number two, you can leverage code. We're going to talk about how to hire someone to do this. So you can easily hire a setter to do this. Essentially, you would just need to give them a list of what we need to personalize, give them an SOP, train them on this is our ICP, this is who we're going after, and find these pieces of information so that then you can essentially just have them plug and play. So if we go back to our personalization sheet, you can just kind of have them look through what tech stack they're using, or maybe they're hiring or not hiring for a specific role and you're a talent placement agency, or maybe they have a brand story and you want to give them a little bit of a summary on their brand story to let them know that you like it, that you really resonated with it, or maybe you talk about their ICP. Essentially, you just want to give your VA or someone on your team these tools, right? So you need to build out an SOP, a playbook, so that they know exactly what they need to do. And this will honestly work really, really well if you have someone working full time. It can get expensive though. And so if you do this, if you build out an SOP and you tell people exactly who you target and how you want to personalize, and you give them the messages, obviously, it's going to be really easy for them to kind of go through and find leads, and then number two, actually personalize every single message. And so how I would do it, there's a bunch of ways that you can go about this. You can go to onlinejobs.ph. This is job board for virtual workers in the Philippines. It's pretty easy to find people here. You can also straight up just go to Fiverr. You can go to Upwork, look for either VAs, or you can also look for appointment setters. There's also a bunch of groups that train and will help you hire appointment setters. So if you have a little bit of an extra budget, you can go ahead and do that. There's a bunch of talent placement agencies that will charge you and essentially run the whole hiring pipeline for you, which if you're a busy individual, I highly recommend you do. Highly recommend you either go through one of those paid services, or again, onlinejobs.ph, Fiverr, and then we've also obviously got Upwork. Keywords to look out for is going to be VA. You want people with experience, people that have experience with lead scraping, people that have experience with outbound. And so if you're able to find someone good, which isn't typically the easiest thing to do, then you'll be fine. Or you can just train someone on your team and they'll be pretty much good to go within just a couple weeks of training. And that will work really, really well. But the only issue with that is that it can get super expensive, and it's really time consuming to coach someone on exactly how to do everything. And honestly, the process of hiring people can be really tedious if you haven't done it before, if you don't have like an internal HR department, or if you aren't the best at doing it. Maybe you just don't like it. Maybe you just don't like interviewing people, or you feel like you're not good at it, and then you just end up wasting your time. So there are other ways to do it. And so another way to do is kind of just going straight to the source and kind of poaching people from other companies, which maybe isn't the most ethical thing to do. And so you can really just go to LinkedIn, go to either just regular LinkedIn, or you can go to LinkedIn Sales Nav. If you don't have Sales Nav, then just do the search here, but I'm going to go to Sales Navigator. And so what you can do is you can literally look for either VAs or appointment setters. And so we can do appointment setter. So we have freelance, telemarketer, freelance. And then what you can do as well is you can do geography for like personal geography. And let's say you want them to be in Mexico. So you can include Mexico, and then you're just going to have appointment setters in Mexico. And you're going to have people that have a ton of experience as appointment setters. And then you can just message them and kind of build your pipeline up this way, hire these people. And then kind of depending on how much experience they have, this is another really good way to go about it. The only thing is some of these guys will already have jobs. So either you're going to have to just make a better offer, or just find people that are looking for jobs. But what's nice about this is that on LinkedIn, you can message their references, right? So you can essentially go to maybe other companies they've worked at, or you can see how much experience they have. You can have them walk through what they currently do. And so if you look at people this way, odds are they'll be a little bit more qualified than kind of going through Fiverr, Upwork, because most of them will already have a job. And so if you do that, you'll be able to leverage other people's time to personalize your messages at scale, whether that be through cold email, Instagram, LinkedIn, or Twitter specifically, which is my favorite way of doing it. But it's going to be way more expensive than leveraging any type of software. So I'm going to show you exactly how we leverage software to do everything I just showed you that a human would do. So the first thing you need to do is you want to go to drippy.ai. There's going to be a link down below in the description. You want to make an account. There's a 7-day free trial, and you'll get 250 messages completely for free. Once you make an account, there's 3 easy steps that you need to follow. So number 1, the same thing that a person would do is find leads. Okay. So in order to find leads here using Drippy, what you need to do is you need to hit leads, and then you want to go to new lead source, and you want to go to lead scraper. And essentially what this will allow you to do is it will allow you to import any person's following or followers. And so it's super easy. Let's just say you are reaching out to SaaS founders. So we're just going to go to twitter.com, and then we're going to find people that SaaS founders would follow. Okay. So in this case, I think an easy one is Dan Martell. There we go. Dan Martell essentially runs a company that helps SaaS founders scale their businesses. And so out of these 75,000 followers, I can pretty much guarantee that a good chunk of them, or at least a decent chunk of them, will have a SaaS, right? So you do that, then you go to account source, you add the account source. And what's nice about Drippy is that you can add as many accounts as you'd like. So you can literally just scrape leads once, and then you're pretty much good to go. It will load, and then it's going to ask you to select if you want to message their followers or their following. So you can select both or one or the other. You hit add source, and then you can keep adding sources. So there we go. You just scraped 77,000 leads within seconds. Now you can start filtering down that list. So you can go to bio contents, you can add element, and say, for example, you know that your ICP always has the word CEO or the acronym CEO, or maybe they have marketing, or maybe they have a website, essentially whatever keywords they typically have in their bio. And that's what you want to add in here. And then once you've done that, you're just going to add that filter. And what I typically recommend, just so you don't message any bots, is that you only message people that have over 100 followers. So you add that filter. So now we have 7.7 thousand people that, number one, follow Dan Martell, number two, have more than 100 followers, and number three, either have the word CEO or the word marketing in their description. And so this is a super qualified list of leads. And if you're targeting SaaS founders, then this is what you want to do. Then you want to hit next, and then you're just going to have to give your list a name. Then you save your list. And now once we have our list ready to go, what you have to do is you have to start an automation. And so this pop-up right here will allow you to start it right away. You can hit new cold DM automation. And now you can select the lead source that we just imported, right? So the leads that we just found, you can just select it. You can find it among your list of leads. Then in select generator type, you want AI to help you out with your message, but you don't want to leave your message completely up to AI. So we're going to select that. Then we're going to do configure message. And in context, we're going to give the AI context so that it knows exactly who they're writing for. So in this case, it's going to be Drippy.ai. So we're going to say, we help B2B companies scale through personalized Twitter DM. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to go down to script. Okay. So here in script, so we can do, hey, first name, and then we can go to our cheat sheet. So let's see, what personalization do we want to use? We can do this, congrats on, and then achievement. So this is going to be a good one. Or typically what we do is notice you compete with competitor is a good one. And then also talking about some of their clients, like, hey, notice you worked with client. So those are always really good. So we can do, hey, first name, notice you worked with, and then the prompt can be super simple. So again, what Drippy allows you to do is mass personalization and mass scale. So what we can do here is we're just going to remove the bold. Notice you worked with, and then you can hit custom personalization, and then it's going to give you the instructions. So insert instructions for custom personalization here. What we can do is we can say, go into their website and find one of their clients and mention them here. And then it's going to name drop people from their website shown as case studies. And then you can get into your pitch. If we were running this for Drippy, we would probably say, notice you worked with XYZ, so thought it would make sense to reach out. And then I'd say, can I send over a list of 1,000? And then we would do look up who they typically work with and name their ICP here and place their ICP here, who look up what type of companies they typically work with and place their ICP here. Can you send over a list of 1,000 that are interested in insert the services that the prospect's company provides to the marketplace? They're interested in ? Totally free, no strings attached. So this message right here would work really well because it has everything. So we're providing big value fast. We're going to be running a ton of volume, and it's really personalized. And so what you want to do there is you just want to make sure that you're using the advanced version of the AI. You want to make sure you're sitting at 1.3 for creativity. You want to turn on all websites, all recent tweets. Then you can hit next. Then you can add as many follow-ups as you'd like. So, hey, I have 1,000 leads ready to be sent over, or whatever it might be. Typically do 2 or 3 follow-ups a couple of days after the initial message. You hit next, and then for advanced settings, these are going to be the exact settings that you want to copy, and then you just need to give your automation a name, and then you will be good to go. You'll start sending hundreds of messages every single day that are highly personalized to highly targeted leads. And so that is the new way of doing cold outreach that business owners are using to exponentially increase the number of sales calls they're booking and in turn their revenue. And so if you want to leverage Drippy to use AI to personalize your messages at scale, there's going to be a link down below in the description for you to start your free trial and start testing it out. Now, if you want us to run this whole system for you, there will be a Calendly link down below as well, where you can book a call with me and we'll get you sorted. And so if you want to learn more about Twitter marketing as a whole, I made this 1 hour long video going over everything that you'll need to know. So make sure to watch that. And so that's pretty much it. Appreciate you a ton, and we'll speak soon. Peace.